All right. Hi and welcome. I am Arden with B Coaching and Consulting, and I am so excited to get to talk to one of our speakers for Fast Break. So you may be asking, what is Fast Break? Fast Break is B Coaching and Consulting's first event of the year. We are going to be convening in San Antonio April 4th and 5th. Fast Break is the 5th. And we are going to be talking about leadership development. We're going to be talking about how to grow your sales pipeline. We're going to be talking about how to build a better team. And at the end of the day, you're going to walk away with so many action items. You're not going to know what to do with all of them. And one of the biggest things, and the reason we've named it Fast Break, is because a big basketball tournament happens to be happening at the same time that weekend in San Antonio. So if you're going to be in San Antonio for the big game, come on over. Our event is 9 to 3. You'll be fine. You'll be fine to get there by tip off at 7. You'll want to get there by 6. Anyway, Fast Break is all about teamwork, right? When you're running a fast break with your team on a basketball team, it's because you played defense and you were able to trust your team to get ahead, to get that break, to get that dunk, to get that layup, to get whatever it is. You trusted your teammate enough to be in the spot where he or she was supposed to be. You trusted your coach enough if your coach had taught you enough, you knew how to do that fast break. But all of that hinges on your point guard. 9 times out of 10, or probably 8 times out of 10, a true fast break hinges on the point guard. And when our program, everything we do at B hinges on our executive assistants. And today I have our premier executive assistant who will be speaking at Fast Break, Kristina. Kristina is here. We're going to ask her some questions, or I'm going to ask her some questions that have been coming in about executive assisting and how to really and truly hear from the best, get the best person for you. So Kristina, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be able to do this event with you guys. My name is Kristina Spencer. I am a military spouse. My husband and I have been together for 23 years, been married for 21 years. And let's see, I started my career back in 2003. Been in real estate and hospitality since then. So many years. I'm aging myself here. That's okay. And been licensed in 3 different states as we have moved throughout the country. And I've been an executive assistant roughly, I'd say throughout the course of my career, about a decade.
Okay.
I was an executive assistant to my husband, as a matter of fact, many years ago. And I will tell you that it was great marriage practice. No. No, we actually worked really well together. I dedicated my book to him because he was just an absolute fantastic boss to have. He was great. Our strengths aligned really well. So I'm just excited to be here and talk to you guys and get everybody hyped up for this event because it's going to be amazing.
I love it. Well, let's dive in. First things first. We've talked about this before as we've been preparing for this event, but truly a strong executive assistant and boss executive is like a marriage, right? You are the one coming in and running the show and helping, and that is part of the partnership. So what do you look for as an EA? The first thing you look for, because I want EAs coming to this, or women or men that want to be executive assistants, I want them coming to this event as well. What do you look for if you're looking for that right position?
Well, like you said, the relationship between the executive and the executive assistant is very much like an arranged marriage. And one of the first things that my husband sat me down, because you got to compartmentalize your work life from your home life. He said, okay, I will never ask anything of you that I would not do myself.
Okay.
That leadership platform, that servant leadership platform, I think was a huge, not selling point, but kind of selling point for me. And it gave me such a tool to look for in the future. And it was so funny because I have the privilege of working with an absolute rock star in the industry, a man who is multifaceted, a man who has a high level of achiever on his Strength Finder. That was one of the first things he said when we sat down to chat. He said, I will not ask anything of you that I would not do myself. And I'm of the mindset that I don't need a babysitter. I need a partner. I need a support system. And I need someone who's going to help me take this business to the next level. And that was it for me. I was hooked.
And I think that's a really important fact. So the next question we're going to get into is, are other people coming to this are going to want to add an executive assistant, or have you come in or someone on your team come in and train them? How do I get my executive assistant to operate at a higher level? So what is the first thing? Like, does it start internally? Does it start externally? Does it start with that job description? How do you make sure as an executive you're hiring correctly?
I think there are several different things. One of the first things that I did, and I think this is invaluable for anybody who's going to hire someone, is have the assessment done prior to them coming in, so you can take it and look at it and see, okay, this person, according to their strengths, whatever platform for assessment you're using, I see that this person has all of these strengths, which are going to align with my strengths. And that's going to help us have a good fit for this situation. So for me,
let me pause real quick, because a lot of people don't even know to do an assessment. So what is an assessment?
Well, there's multiple 7 types of working genius, Strength Finders 2.0. There's the DISC assessment. Whatever.
It's a test. Yes. Basically what she's saying, it's almost like a personality test.
Yes.
How do you work? What are your strengths? Those kinds of things. Okay.
And what's really great is when you can start out that way, you can see, like for me, one of my top strengths on the Strength Finder spectrum is I'm achiever. That's number 1 on mine, is achiever. And then the next thing, yeah, it is. And then the next thing is I'm an activator. I have like,
I'm number 2 as an activator too.
I have like a skosh of empathy. Like it's probably somewhere.
No, I am input. Well, we got to take a real quick pause because people love this. I am input. So I ask 1,295 questions.
Yeah, so good.
And then I'm activator. So that's so interesting. So knowing those assessments, it's what makes me great at marketing and journalism, is I can listen and then I can act. And like you said, you're going to achieve. You want people to achieve. So what's your Enneagram? Do you know?
Oh, no, I don't know mine.
I bet you'd be a 2 because you're a helper.
Possibly. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. Yeah. So but it was funny because that's another good one. My husband says, you're the executioner. And I think when it comes to that EA, like you need someone who can execute. You need someone who's going to be proactive. Right. You need that forward thinking, like futuristic. That's another huge one of mine. So I'm constantly thinking like 10 steps ahead. It's funny because in the relationship that we have, it works so well because my boss is great at casting that vision. But then I'm also looking at logistically, okay, you've got this great idea, but this is what's going to be the brass tacks to get that done. So when you have those assessments, like he already had that before we interviewed, it made the process so seamless because I saw his, which was so cool because he sent me his and he had seen mine. So by the time we sat down together, we kind of had an idea of, okay, this is how this is going to go. And I would recommend that right out the gate. It is an investment in time because you have to take that 30 minutes to get those assessments finished. It is an investment in finances, but listen, this is a long-term relationship. So put the time in at the head of time in the beginning so that you're working smarter, not harder.
Okay. So I'm going to pause right there for people to reiterate that. So do an assessment, and both of you, what she's saying is what we're going to talk about at Fast Break is how for both of you to work really well. It's not just your person coming in and you're like, I need to know your Enneagram, or I need to know your DISC, or I need to know. The best executives are the ones also going, this is who I am. This is how you work with me because I've done the same test. And you need to do it. Sometimes your strengths can change. Sometimes I've heard, sometimes on the DISC, they can change. So I would encourage you when you're looking to make that investment, and we're going to teach you all of these processes at Fast Break, but to look at where do you line up, right? So what I'm hearing you say is you came in prepared, but Dayton, your boss, also was prepared. He was 100%. Ready to work with you. Okay. So we're going to get into that. So my next question is what does day to day look like for you as a rock star executive assistant?
Well, I always say this, blessed are the flexible. Because, like my husband, I have a lot of little quips. My husband will tell you, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, right. So we always have a plan. Yeah. We have a daily plan. We have a weekly plan. We have a monthly plan. And that's one thing that Dayton and I are very good at is, setting up that perfect week. What does that look like? I know what he likes to see on his perfect week. And then going even, expanding that out to his month. He's amazing at his calendar. I have to say, like, he's so good at it. It's awesome.
Yes.
He's an inspiration. So that's definitely something, but also leaving that room for flexibility because you never know what's going to happen. You got to do a little bit of both, but absolutely planning. We sit down, very, very brief. What's today look like? What's the week look like? And then, certain things come up and I make sure that, his calendar is always up to date. Hey, this is what we got going on. We did have a pop in here. We do have a pop in there. We got to pivot just like in basketball. You got to bob and weave a little bit. Yeah, we do that all the time. So yeah, that's first and foremost the thing that we do.
So we're going to wrap this up with, you're the point guard, right? You're the point guard of your team. You're the point guard for Dayton. You're going to be the point guard. And the point guard, guys, is, if you don't know, he or she sees the floor, runs the floor. It's almost like the coach on the floor. So you, Kristina, how do you feel about being the point guard? One, like, what does that feel like to you? Because you've had different things in your past. So I want those that want to be an EA to kind of embody what it really does feel like to be an EA. And two, a lot of people, you're managing up a lot of people, right?
Yes.
Who have been doing this like longer than we've been alive. How do you manage up as the point guard? What's your style? And how do you teach people to do that?
Oh, well, first and foremost, I would say that I didn't start out as an executive assistant. It's kind of funny. I started out in management positions. And when I was working at the hotels, especially during COVID, I realized how much that executive assistant role was worth its weight in gold. When you're working 120 hours a week, you're riding on no sleep, that partner that you have beside you to help you navigate those waters is huge. They were my eyes and my ears when I didn't have time to be eyes and ears. So the weight of responsibility is not lost on me. I completely understand it. And I'm very humbled to be able to have that privilege. A lot of people have a misconception that because you're working as an EA, that's a downgrade. I see it as an upgrade. I see it as an opportunity to help someone achieve an amazing level of success. And that's reciprocal. It always comes back to you when you're generous with your time, your talent, and your treasure. So for me, when it comes to that team approach, the eyes and ears portion is a very delicate balance because you're privy to everything. So there has to be a level of trust and integrity that's maintained constantly. What information can be disseminated downline versus what information is just, it's not for public consumption. Those things have to be discerned. And then when you're talking about leading up, what are the things that I need to do to protect that executive? Because that's my job. It's my job to protect their goals, their time, their resources, their finances, their family, all of those things. It is a significant weight, but taking the information that I hear and then saying, okay, now's the time that I need to give him a heads up so he's not caught off guard. I had someone tell me years ago, and it was one of my husband's commanders. He said, I can handle anything that I know, but I can't handle things that I don't know.
Yeah.
So when I lead up, I always do my very, very best to try to ensure that that leader is set up for success.
Yeah. I love that. And guys, we're recording this on Galentine's Day.
Yes, it is. That's right.
And Leslie, no, but it really did make you do, girl. It made me think about every executive is different, right? And every executive needs to know how to hire the right assistant. So Ron Swanson didn't want anybody coming to him. So when he hired April, go back and watch this. April said, no, he's busy. He's right there. No, he's very busy. You cannot go in. But that's what Ron Swanson wanted. He wanted somebody to say no. all the time. Dayton wants someone to be his eyes and ears. He wants someone to protect him. And a lot of executive assistants with high level, especially with B, they have to build in, here is your family time. Here's what you need to do.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's the best assistants, I believe, come in with a servant attitude. So that's what you're saying is a servant attitude. And that's what we're going to teach you at Power Assist. A Power Assist, our assistants are serving the next person. This is not a place of me, but none of me is a place of me. So Kristina, what's one thing, she's got a book we're going to release, or we're going to talk about at
very excited about that.
That's awesome. Fast Break and lots of other things. So let's wrap this up, because we went longer than we said we were going to, because we start talking. Tell me the one reason people should come see you at Fast Break.
Oh, I think it's going to be, it's really going to change the way that you approach your business. You know, we hear it every day. I want to scale. I want to be successful. And then you go to these seminars and you pay thousands of dollars and you get 6 hours of theory and 20 minutes of actual practical teaching. Yeah. That's not what this is. Fast Break, every single person that's coming into Fast Break is going to give you step-by-step tangible things that they have not only done, but still do every day to achieve not only just success, but the significance that they have in their business, in their industry, in their family, and in their community. Right. And I am no exception to that. I believe on putting the cards out on the table. Even the book that I wrote, it's not theory. It's not just a book. It's practical. It's tangible. It gives you tips that you can take every single day, whether you're the executive or the executive assistant. So that's what sets us apart. You know, that's what's different between us and all the other programs that are out there. This is not going to be a waste of your time. It's going to be an investment in your future. And I think that, you know, it's just going to be amazing. And hey, we're at Topgolf. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know,
we didn't even show you that. We're at Topgolf.
Yeah. So the venue, you know, we're looking at something that's informative, but also fun. You know, it's during the Final Four. So what better time to come to San Antonio and get some good information, some good fun, some good food, good fellowship. Can't go wrong.
And the likelihood of your team being there is very slim, because they're not in the SEC, because that's all who's going to be there.
Yeah.
My team is
we're not going to talk about that.
We're not. It's just sad, but maybe next year. All right. So thank you, Kristina. Thanks everybody for watching. We're so excited to see you. Tickets are now on sale. Link is in, all the things. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.